I have like a avenue of conversation I kind of want to go down, but it might be risky, or it might be too much like breaking the fourth wall or something. But I'm just curious because I think it's a really great album. I think like you clearly put all your love into it, and you're really like skilled and talented at what you do. But like, how do you break through? Like, I feel like music like this deserves a wider audience, and like, there's not a lot of people like with your background doing what you do, and there's just a sea of people making music these days. And like, how do you like get to that next level besides just hoping a reel goes viral or something? Is that the only answer artists have?
I'm glad you brought this up because this is something, as a career marketer, like this is something I, grapple with all the time. And man, there's just so much to say about it, So
let's hear it. What are your thoughts?
Here we are. We got Umraan here, promoting your new album, Zenith.
Yes, sir.
I know you've been working on it for almost over a year, so congratulations.
I've been working on it since 2020.
Dude. So this was your COVID project?
This one and House on the Vines both were. I made them kind of side by side.
Yeah.
But then after HITV came out, I waited like another year or so, and then I started releasing singles from this one.
Yeah.
And yeah, finally we released the whole thing, know?
Yeah, because Dylan and I were talking about it. We do recognize some of the songs prior because you released it as singles.
Yeah. Even when I came and spoke with you guys last time, we had already released like I think 3 singles. First, I think we did Different, Transform, and Be Okay. Remember that was?
Yeah, we were talking about Different. We heard Different before.
Yeah, Different.
No, it was Be Okay.
Was it Be Okay? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was the one that we specifically spoke about on the episode. So that was that was like early last year. No, spring, like May. Yeah. But and then there was a different song, Transform, which came out, but I actually switched that off the album. I released it as a single. It was supposed to be on the album, but I changed it to Transformed, which is like kind of a part 2 of that song. And yeah, I just felt like it fit the album a little bit better.
So what was the longest part of doing this album? Was it the songwriting, the recording, or the post-production?
I would say it was like the mixing process. The mixing just took forever, I took a lot of... We just went in a lot of different directions.
Sorry, guys. I had to
No, it's fine. It's fine.
No,
fix that camera after you already started talking.
So just for the mixing, it took a really long time. The mastering took a little bit of time too, but mainly the process of mixing. And I was just sitting on the songs for a while, and I was, promoting House on the Vines for a bit. And then I did a lot of like live studio, like performance things that I haven't fully released yet. I did some of them, like maybe you saw like Tonight, and
I saw that. That was fun.
Yeah. So we did a bunch of those in between, but then got back to it and started developing like ideas to release it. And we didn't release it yet, but we actually made a whole visual album for it too.
Nice.
So it's kind of like a movie. It's like 46 minutes, the length of the whole album, and that should be coming out in like a couple weeks.
That's gonna be fun.
Few weeks.
That's the entire thing in one go. It's not going to be like one song at a time.
No, I didn't want to do it like that. Maybe I'll like re-release on YouTube like song by song. But when it comes out, I kind of want to just release the whole thing, and it'll just be like one movie on YouTube.
Nice. Really good visuals. I saw the trailer. That's including scenes from the visual album.
Yeah, that's like scenes from the visual album. So that's basically what it's like. Was it
hot walking around in the spacesuit and running? You like you're running through a field at the end.
It was crazy. It was really crazy. We were. That's also another thing that took so long, is because we were filming it for like years. So the filming for that took a very long time, and like the editing has been happening for like a year. But we filmed that when we were like in the desert, Joshua Tree, and all these different places, and man, it was unbelievably hot. Unbearable, because that thing is like, it's basically like a snowsuit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where'd you get the suit?
It was custom made.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So it was it just took a really long time to do that, and it was filming was extremely difficult. I got so tired of the filming. I mean, to fill 46 minutes of like good material without repeating too much and making it a little bit interesting. You know, it's not a completely linear story, but it does follow like the themes and things like that we go through on the album. But yeah, it took a really goddamn long time, and I'm excited to be done with it. I mean, because the album itself it's a concept album, you know. But I've been meaning to ask you guys, so what did you think?
It was good. I really enjoyed the moments where you grab a synthesizer and, you know, and then it transitions to like a full band. You know, you do hear a bit of a drum machine, and then the drum machine transforms into a drummer. I like that. There was a song, I forget the name. I think it's Never Let Me Down or Zenith Theme, where I really like the drums in that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, those drums were played by my boy Ross. He's played on all my albums. But yeah, those songs, especially Zenith Theme, because that one blends in from New Days Are Born. And that one, like, it has like the programmed drums and stuff like that, and then it comes down, and then like that like recurring synth theme comes back again, and then that's where like it like transforms into a full band again. And it's really good. It's a really like progressive, psychedelic, spacey part of like the album.
I also enjoyed some of the guitar parts. It had that neo soul kind of vibe. Yeah, where like, you know, you play the chord and it just kind of like transitions to another chord really quickly. Yeah, so got a twangy feel in a way.
Yeah, we did that on a few songs, mainly the back end, I feel like, but some on the front side too. Transformed was like the newest edition. That's the one that we didn't finish in 2021, but I kind of like switched it out last minute. It's kind of felt right. But on that one, it's really cool because it's most of like the earlier songs on the album don't have like the full band feel, but that one is like one of the main ones that does. And I think it's a really, really brilliant song. I just love the way it blends in with the story of Different. You know, it goes from like kind of like this fun puppy love thing with Different, kind of flirtatious, and then it really is talking about like how do you go from like that puppy love and then transform that like feeling to like a deeper love. And so, you know, that's kind of like the main topic of those two songs.
I didn't really feel like it went from fake drums or like programmed drums to real drums. I felt like it was all pretty consistent. Like it felt like a live band to me most of the time. And it feels like you're going in more like, I don't know how you feel about this term, but post-rock direction. Have you heard that?
It's funny that you say that, because in my biographies, I actually describe my music as taking elements of post-rock and progressive rock. So I'm glad you picked up on that.
Yeah, kind of like Explosions in the Sky, Tycho.
No, it's one of your favorite bands right there.
Yeah, it is. Last September, we actually road tripped across the Midwest to see Explosions in the Sky at like 3-4 different shows. So like we're like super fans of Explosions.
Yeah, I've never heard that kind of like lush sound blended with like hip hop vocals before.
Yeah, I never did either, and that's kind of like what I've been striving for since my first album, is like incorporating that. And like as my songwriting, arrangements, productions get better, like I'm able to bring that sound more to fruition, you know, do it justice. But I feel like it is a really cool experimental element that's like kind of paving a new path in modern music.
I got a question. How did you meet Zach P?
Zach P and I met early COVID. We were introduced, or actually we were put in like an independent artist group chat by Cal Lopez. And so Zach just, he was like going through the people in the group, and then he like liked my stuff, and he DM'd me. He's like, yo, we should work sometime. And this was like spring of 2020, and then like shortly after that we made No Pain, which is like the 5th song on the album. So you know, we made the song, we put it out, but I always thought it could be better, so like we went back and like reworked it. And this is like another of the things that I did like in that large gap between albums. I just kept like tightening the screws and like making edits, you know, to try and like enhance the story and the feel of the album, the sonics and all that stuff. But so mid 2020 is when we first met.
Cool.
Have you worked together in person?
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I know I saw in his bio he's from Florida.
Yeah, he's from Orlando. The first time we worked together, or like that we actually met, was in November 2023, and that was the first time we met. And we actually made a good amount of music and made shot some videos and stuff. But we were able to like kick it and shoot the shit and get to know each other. You know, it was awesome after working together for years. Being able to finally, meet up like that in person was awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
And
He's a great guy.
what about Jay Lincoln?
Wait a second. Actually, Zach P just moved to Spain, dude.
Wow, he just moved to Spain?
Yeah, so he's in Spain like indefinitely now.
No. Wow. What part of Spain? Madrid? Barcelona?
I don't think he's
Seville?
in Barcelona. No, I don't think he's in Malaga. That's our other friend.
I'm guessing Madrid. Everyone.
Yeah, he might be in Madrid. I forgot. I'm pretty sure it's not Barcelona. But yeah, he's in Spain now. Long term, so
nice, good for him.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. That's actually one of the places we would want to move to, me and my girl, if we were ever to move out of the country.
I heard it's a nice place.
Yeah, like the cost of living is really low, but
they're not happy with
quality of life
with people living
no,
there.
they are not.
But
man.
at the same time, it's their fault. The economy is bad because how bad they are.
Yeah.
And they're blaming on the workers, on the foreigners, but in the end, the foreigners are making their economy better. So.
Definitely. I think they're just tired of like it's kind of like invaders. You know what I mean? There's just like everything that the locals want to do.
Yeah.
It's becoming like I don't know, maybe like saturated or something like that, and they just want to retain their own like authentic culture over there. They're really into their culture.
Oh, I get that.
Yeah. So I kind of see both sides. I mean, I want to be one of those invaders living over there. Like they've cultivated a great country. Like I want to live there. I want to be part of that.
Would you learn Spanish?
Definitely. One of my first languages was coming really close to being Spanish. Like when I was very young. But my mom took me out of the classes because I was getting better at Spanish than English. And so she was like, "Okay, you gotta
stop.
We gotta work on this."
Was this in Carpentersville or Hoffman Estates?
No, this was in Hoffman Estates.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was Hoffman Estates.
Damn, look at you. You know the biography.
When you know the area.
And I've known this guy for so long now. What has it been? 11 years now?
Give or take, yeah.
2013, right?
Yeah, give or take.
We met at that photo shoot when Berto was doing.
2013, dude. Wow.
When Bert Bag was doing that photo shoot of me in that suit with the cigar.
With the cigar.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, those like old, not photos, but there's like videos interspliced in some of your early songs on Spotify, like the Live View album. I just was listening to one of your. There's one where you're like, you have a bowler hat on and it's black and white, and you're like, do you have like a cigarette or a joint in your mouth or something? You're like smoking something.
I don't think so.
Maybe
was this on Spotify?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I think it might be like the first song from your first album.
So I was actually just listening to my first album yesterday, and the Spotify canvas for free is a close up of me like eating a cookie.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
I knew it was something involving your mouth.
There was some mouth action.
Some oral fixation.
Yeah. Where did you shoot those back in the day? You're like clean shaven then, so I'm assuming that's those older.
I think
footage.
I might have had like a light beard in that one, but yeah, it's old footage. It's like 2019-ish. I think I was promoting my my merch brand, my merch line at the time. Nice. And when we were filming like the models, I told Sam to film me eating a cookie, and we used it. It's not really too indicative for the song, but I thought it was a funny clip.
I was wondering. I was like trying to piece together.
Oh, and then for second song, for Whispers, it's like it's slowly like it's a tilt up shot, and then it says Whispers, and I take off the hat, and then it like whips over. That was for Whispers. So yeah, you were right about that one. No smoking though. Maybe I should do something of me smoking.
No,
we'll have to break out that cigar.
Be a good role model for the kids.
You still be a good. The first song in your album, you were saying something that wasn't in English.
Oh yeah.
Could you translate that?
Yeah. So I start off each of my albums saying like Bismillah or Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Yeah. It just means in the name of Allah.
Okay, got it. Okay.
It's just kind of.
I thought it was something else longer.
I said A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It's like the longer.
Okay.
The longer version of it. I actually don't know the exact translation of the first part, but I know the main crux of it is like. In the name of Allah.
Okay.
I start this. It's sort of like setting your intention.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I do that with each of my projects. Also, in the top right of my of all my album covers, there's like a small Bismillah calligraphy. It was like very prominent on the first album, Bismillah. That's like what I used to write it. But ever since then, I just keep putting it on the top right of each album. So if you look in the dark sky, it's over there. Yeah.
I do like the album cover. It's a very moody shot of you, I'm guessing, on your actual car. Is it your actual Civic?
That's a fire ass cover, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love that. We actually delayed the release of the album because of that. We were trying to get that cover finished.
And what city is it?
Took a very long time.
Is it New York?
It's Chicago. No, it's Chicago, but obviously we added stuff to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, I don't see the Sears Tower or anything. Oh, yeah. I see
it's
the Hancock now.
Yeah.
Okay, I see it.
Yeah, it's there. It's Chicago. It's, it's obviously, it's kind of based on like big metropolis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The album is based on like a big metropolis. It is heavily based on Chicago, but it is, we're taking it a little bit like a step further and, kind of putting you into this like environment, and it'll make a lot more sense like when you watch the movie. But yeah, we took that shot on medium format film, and so it gave it that look. And then I wanted to do sort of like that apocalyptic retro future type of thing to it, and I think that the black and white it gives a really good twist on that. Like I was thinking of like Chernobyl in black and white, but like the American version. So that's kind of where I'm going with that. And a lot of the album, I do talk about how there's just like overpopulation and overpollution and a lot of like societal issues like that. And so that's a really big theme on the album. I feel like it's pretty indicative on the cover too.
So you already talked about it being a concept album, and
yeah. Did you pick up on the concept?
I don't know if I did. I to me the themes seem pretty consistent with like things you've talked about on your previous work, and like you're saying, like there's more societal things, and then also personal struggles you've had. So it feels super personal and really like genuine and from the heart. But as far as like an overarching narrative, I always struggle with concept albums, even the ones that people say are like the best concept album ever.
Yeah,
I listen to it and I'm like,
which ones? Like Tommy, Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah,
I mean, Ziggy's Butterfly.
A pretty good example. Yeah, like To Pimp a Butterfly. That's a concept album, really.
Is it?
I thought it was either that one or Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah, I mean that one does have a lot of skits that intersperse to kind of make it like a drive in Compton.
I feel out of all the concept albums that Kendrick has done, I think the most concept-y is Damn.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Because it works backwards? Is that?
No, it's just because I see it as like the life of a black man, the struggles of a black man.
I mean, that's literally what Good Kid, Mad City is. With you see, with To Pimp though, I think that one it fits a lot more because of the poem that he's doing throughout it.
Oh yeah, right? You're right. Yeah, I forget that he references that like almost every other 5 tracks.
I think To Pimp a Butterfly is like a very it's like a straight ahead concept album, right? It's like he kind of achieved the thing that he was trying to do. Like with all the albums leading up to it. Like Section 80 was, it kind of had, it came close to like being a concept album. I don't think he like fully hit that mark, but like with Good Kid, that one like follows like the whole album is like one day of this black teenager's life in, what is it, South Central LA.
Yeah. I remember like 2 years ago he was talking about retiring, but I don't think he's gonna retire.
Kendrick?
Yeah. That's the rumor I heard that he was retiring.
No, it wasn't retiring. He was leaving the TDE label. Okay. Top Dog Entertainment, right? The label he's been with since like the mid 2000s. That indie label, or they used to be indie. I think he, with that like PG Lang thing, what is it, like a production company or something? He basically said, this next album, which is Mr. Morale, it's going to be the last one that I do with TDE, and then I'm on to other stuff or something.
Got it. Okay.
So I don't know if it was like a formal retirement. Especially now with the run of singles he had this summer.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? He's like at the top of his game right now.
Yeah, this summer is Kendrick's summer.
He's never been this big.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing. I just can't believe he was able to break those songs out so quick.
Yeah.
I wonder if he'd been working on those for a while, though.
He could be. I don't know. But then again, he's got a team to support him.
He does, but even other people who have teams, they don't come up with quality product like that,
I have a confession to make. I did not follow the Drake-Kendrick beef at all. I don't think I listened to a single one of the diss tracks.
It's good. I mean, they're good, but
they're good.
The internet made me not care. I was like, everyone, it was all I could see online. I was like, why do I care about these two rich artists beefing?
Yeah. Drake started it, right?
Who started it? I think Kendrick started it.
Wow.
I think Kendrick started it on that song with Metro Boomin and Future.
Uh-huh.
I think he started it with that. That was like in the spring or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I heard about like how it just progressed. It was like a snowball effect.
It was cool because it like kind of revitalized some stuff in hip hop.
Yeah,
that beef did. You know, it got people pretty excited. It got people pretty divided. But I just don't like what the internet does with things. You know, I find when things get too big, I'm just like, there's like a disillusionment. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But going back to your album, was there a certain track that you had that was most challenging for you to, produce?
Man, that's a good question. I would say that New Days Are Born and Zenith theme, I made those together and then I like split it afterwards. Mm-hmm. That one took me a very long time. I had been working on that demo since like 2019. Yeah. And it just didn't really come to fruition. And then, we were sitting in the studio, like out in the forest, and the band was together, and we worked on that song, and it came together like surprisingly quick. Like within 1 to 2 hours, we had like the song for the most part like finished. At least the Zenith theme, like that instrumental aspect of it. The earlier part, New Days Are Born, that one took a really long time because it was like, I wanted to do something interesting with the arrangement for it. You know, it's like a 4.5 minute long song, and there's only one verse in it. Other than that, it's just like chorus and like instrumental breaks and stuff like that. And to be able to balance a song where you have like not as many lyrics, like, or just like one verse or like one chorus or something, but make it interesting and engaging throughout, it's really tough to do. And for this album, I tried to really stick to the story and only say what's necessary. You know, I didn't really want to like go over the top or insert lyrics where like they weren't needed or expound on something that didn't really need it. You know what I mean? It's like really sticking to it and being meticulous in what you say, like very purposeful. That was kind of my goal for this project. And even if you look at the track, the runtime for the project, it's like 45 minutes, give or take. My first album was like 36, 37. Second album was like 58, like almost an hour. And now this one, I feel like, is at like a perfect medium.
It's good. It's good. Yeah.
I think this is your best sounding record of the three.
Definitely.
Like,
hands down.
Because I listened to a bit of like the first album and House in the Vines as well. And even just like the sound of the vocals and everything, like you really, I feel like, leveled up your vocal mixing chain and also just how your delivery and stuff.
I took more time with my vocals for the first album. For Bismillah, I wasn't really I was really into like the Dilla sway, so I wasn't working with the metronome as much. And then also when I was recording my vocals, it's the first time recording vocals. You know, I had been rapping for like 20 years, but actually recording the vocals, you know, being in the booth, it's different, you know, like being somebody that performs live and then trying to translate that to a studio setting, knowing what works for your voice, what doesn't. You know, you can really tell like the growth from that first project. And yeah, you know, I learned to be more purposeful with my vocals and using a metronome for the second album. And then like for the third album, I really honed in on everything, like everything that I have in like my arsenal of how to create art and make it like objectively good and make it like subjectively like powerful. I really think I came through on that, and I'm happy that you were able to kind of feel that change and that growth as well.
Yeah.
And who is your keyboardist? Because I really like the piano arrangement in the first song.
I have multiple.
Yeah.
So on the first song, "Take Me," that's BJ playing that, one of the greatest key players I work with. And then on the last song, "Zenith Ascension," that guest feature with the electric piano, that's Jay Lincoln. Right? That's my boy Jay Lincoln.
He also sings that vocal part?
Yeah, he sung that part.
It's a beautiful vocal part.
Fantastic. fantastic. We had been, I like kind of helped out with that here and there, but like he really dominated that one. He killed it, and it took a while to make that song, that whole song, especially with like that hidden. Did you guys hear the hidden track at the end?
Well, I mean, I heard it, but I don't remember a hidden track.
Yeah. I like remember it kind of fading out, and then something came back in at the end.
Yeah, like 30 seconds later.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't really think of it as a hidden track, but I guess that's what that is.
Yeah,
I put it in there as kind of like a hidden track. It kind of bookends the project, but on that first one, it's BJ. He's fantastic. We had been working on that chord progression for a really long time. I put together the chords like a year ago, and I put the chords together a year ago, sent it to him. He like added his swag on it, and then we just went back and forth. And then like earlier this year, we just we were like, okay, I'm getting really close to putting this out. We got to finish this intro, and so we knocked that out. And then Henry played the nylon string guitar on it. He's another collaborator of mine. It just like really came together. The instrumental pieces on the album actually, like I had been sitting on them for a long time, but when I finally hit the studio to record them, they came together very fast. And like we entered the studio not knowing exactly what we were going to do for those. But,
the instrumental parts I really enjoyed those parts.
Yeah, man, we put a lot of work into that. Just like every aspect of it, every component, I didn't want anything to be lacking,
No, it's not lacking, that's for sure.
And I feel like to make a project like that, for me as an artist, to make a project that is very purposeful like that, it takes so much self-awareness. You have to be able to like see what works, what doesn't work, what are you working on that's kind of shitty, what aspects of your art making process is really good, and then like try and pull all that together. And especially as like a solo artist, because I'm like the only one that's producing all these tracks and stuff. I work with like collaborators, but doing it alone, man, you really need like outside ears, and you need time away to make sense of it all and see like, is it really achieving what you want it to?
How long does it normally take for you to, like, when you need time away from it, how long do you give yourself? Like a day or two, a week? That way we have fresh ears.
Yeah, that's a good question. I actually work on projects concurrently. So House on the Vines, Zenith, and my next album, I made all at the same time. And it's between like a 2019 and 2021. And I think by the end of 2021 or early 2022, we basically finished recording like 90% of all three of the albums. And we're just kind of like working out the details of like marketing and when to promote it and when to put it out, this and that. And then I'm dealing with a lot of like personal things and whatever anxiety might be plaguing me at the time. So working through that. But yeah, in order to like step away and like come back with fresh eyes and ears, I usually just work on something else. So I'll have like my hip hop projects that I work on, and then I'll have like something that's very like folk rock, and then like straight up like post rock shit, and then like very jazzy things. And I have a lot of different areas of creativity that I try to satisfy. And whenever something gets a little difficult or boring, like I will work on it, but I know when to like step away and work on something else that my interests are just taking me. It's kind of just like a labyrinth, a winding path, and I'll end up finding my way back there. But it could be anywhere between like a couple days to like several months. I wait sometimes really long periods between working again on stuff, but like I'm always thinking about it. I'm always going over my demos, falling asleep to my demos,
analyzing it, even though you're out and in the forest,
literally all the time.
Yeah, it happens.
It's
part
fun.
of the creative process, right?
It is big time. It's fun to do that too. I really like. I like to like listen to other music and like pull ideas. Like, oh, they did this with their bridge. Like, I wonder if I could do that for this song, or incorporate something like that. So, a lot of my ideas I just get from being inspired by things. They don't just come out of thin air. They like, there's like a process to it. I just like. I keep myself open, like my mind and my heart and my ears open to receiving like inspiration and like observing creativity, and then it just like inspires something inside of me, and I'm able to manifest those ideas into something tangible. And I feel like that's like the biggest thing. A lot of people have ideas, but being able to like, transmute, right? Being able to transmute that, it's tough, and it takes a lot of practice. I think it's transmuting, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I was curious how the song Different came about, because that's one where I noticed there is a third name on Spotify, like a producer, composer for that track.
Oh, man. Yeah, let's get into this. So 1 week before the album dropped, my Instagram was indefinitely suspended by Meta. And it was for my Palestine posts and like comments and things that I had been making at the time. But yeah, dude, 1 week before the album dropped, my Instagram was indefinitely suspended by Meta. And
there was no like warning, like
I've been getting warnings for like years, right? But I mean, I'm still gonna be making posts, you know what I mean? Like, how can they even be giving me warnings for stating things that are facts? You know what I mean? It's pure censorship. And they're targeting a lot of like micro influencers and people who are verified that these small voices tend to be really loud when put together in numbers, you know what I mean? So they shut that shit down.
I'm also going to play the race card because I don't know, or I haven't heard anyone who's white who posts Palestine things and they don't suspend their account.
I believe it, man. Yeah. I don't have the data to back it up, but definitely qualitatively it feels like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's just really messed up, dude. There's people that are actively advocating for mass like violence and extermination of people, and they not only do they not get reprimanded, they get like promoted more, you know what I mean? And it's just really crazy. So anyways, my Instagram was taken down. I had been building up this Zenith like brand and hype for freaking years now, you know what I mean? And like right at the precipice when it's about to happen, they deactivated they suspended my Instagram, and they said they'll get back to me within 1 day. It's now been about a month, you know? So I use it as an opportunity. I'm working on rebranding myself, Sonic Architectz.
I saw that.
Yeah, so that's, there's a multitude of reasons that I went for it, but essentially it's been really liberating to be able to operate under another moniker. Even though I am still strongly going under Umraan Syed, I'm thinking about, changing that to like Sonic Architectz. And keeping that as the moniker that I operate under. So I had to quickly re-upload the album for release with this new name. I had to establish this new name, made a new Instagram, all this stuff.
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Thankfully, I have a very dedicated team behind me, small but robust team. But it's been a lot of work. It's caused a lot of issues. So, I'm doing the best that I can, but, it gets tired operating under your name, you know. A lot of people confuse a lot of things between who you are and who you are as an artist
that's
and
true.
This and that. And so, I don't know. I'm really enjoying working under this new name, and I think the name is actually really sick and defines what I do pretty well. Sonic Architectz.
So is the new album going to be just Sonic Architectz, or is it going to be both?
No, it's both.
Okay.
It's both. Yeah, I listed it under Umraan Syed and Sonic Architectz.
Yeah.
I mean, I can always go back and remove my name from everything if I want to, or add Sonic to my previous works. But that's kind of what I'm working with right now.
Yeah.
Would you ever like consider producing for other artists or something? When I hear the word Sonic Architectz, first I thought it was like a new collective or like a band or producing project you were starting. And
I did kind of want to make it seem plural. I did that on purpose because I do work with a lot of people on my projects. You know what I mean? And even though they might not be like primary songwriters or anything like that, they still have a very heavy hand, and I think it's a really cool way of encompassing like my whole universe. You know what I mean? Sort of like the universe that I've built and the people that are involved with it. So yeah, it is plural, and technically it is just me for official purposes, but it's kind of like Tame Impala. You know what I mean? Or like Childish Gambino. Like there's a lot of people that work under those, under that like umbrella, but essentially there is like one driving force, one individual. But yeah, that's where Sonic Architectz comes in. And then there was something else that we were talking about. And then you asked a while ago when I first met Jay Lincoln.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jay Lincoln I also met very early COVID. It was a very prolific time, 2020. Yeah, so Jay Lincoln, Jesse, he, one of our friends, Johnny, she came to me to produce some stuff for her. And I think I was looking for like a really sick keys player, so she introduced me to him. He has like a master's degree in piano, I think piano performance. And so, you know, we started working together. He played a lot of classical at that time, but, you know, we just like, we like dove so deep in like exploring art together, and I showed him so many things. He showed me a bunch of things, and, you know, his style really evolved, and we really grew together as artists. And yeah, he's played on a lot of my work now, and you know we have a lot of collaborative music that we do as well. But yeah, that guy's like my right hand man. You know, he's basically my band director.
Yeah.
So like when we play live and you know when we have some studio sessions and stuff like that. But in terms of producing for other people, I actually am getting into that. Like I wanted to start offering like full services to like create music for other artists or people and stuff like that, because a lot of the songs that I make, they're so meticulous, there's so much detail in it, and I feel like, you know, it's great for achieving what I want to do, but I really want to like bring that to other people and like explore more that's out there, and I think that I can do that kind of behind the scenes pretty amazingly if I get the opportunity.
And is he from Chicago as well?
Jess?
Yeah.
He is from no, he's from Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah, he's from Michigan. But he did his master's out here, I believe. Master's and undergrad, I think.
Nice.
So yeah, just Chicago musicians, man. You know, coming together.
That's
Making
good.
it happen.
You got any future shows coming up or anything like that? Or like
I think
touring?
I think I was invited to play a country festival in Central Illinois.
Oh my! Oh,
How'd that happen?
wasn't Smashing Pumpkins gonna? Did you hear about like Smashing Pumpkins being headlining somewhere in Central Illinois, like in Springfield or something, or Normal, Illinois?
Is
like
it a country festival?
It was a majority of the music was country except for Smashing Pumpkins. I forget the name of it, but it was just very odd.
That's
out
hilarious.
of nowhere.
But yeah, I was
Pumpkins.
invited to play that next month. I actually don't know if it's happening.
Yeah.
I would play a lot more of my like folk Americana stuff that I actually haven't even released yet.
Yeah.
But I do have a lot of folk and like acoustic music that I've been working on that I haven't released yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you're not going to do that fest.
I don't know. We haven't worked out the final details yet. I might, but as each day goes by, the chances are
slimmer.
Getting slimmer.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I'm at with that.
I'll admit it was kind of odd for me, like because I was getting into the first song and then Different came up, and I was just like a weird jolt from like jazzy, like relaxing trip hop, to boom, like kind of like hip hop out of nowhere with a beat and everything.
Yeah.
So
the album was originally going to start just with Different, which I think was it was a good idea, but when for the visual album the way I wanted it to be, I was like, I think having an intro like this will like kind of bookend the story really well, because those are like the intro and then the hidden track are the only times where there's like acoustic instruments used, and for the most part everything else is electric. There's some like grand piano on a couple songs, but yeah, those are like the only acoustic tracks. And it different kind of pulls you out of a reverie, and that's what I like about it. You know,
what inspired you to write Different?
I know that you love me, 'cause I'm different now. I ain't nothing like these other men. I ain't nothing like these other men.
Different was another very early collaboration of me and Zach P. I think again like maybe mid-late 2020 we made that. It's kind of just like a pop love song, you know. And I was seeing I had just started getting to know my wife around then, like the late 2010s, early 2020s when we first met, and it really just described our relationship, You know, a lot of these tracks are pretty autobiographical. Yeah, some embellishments here and there, you know, or maybe I just say that to hide myself. But yeah, they're all pretty close to my life.
Is Dealin' a Feelin' autobiographical? I was reading the lyrics to that one because you have them on time synced lyrics
I do have
on
them time
Spotify.
synced?
Yeah,
Nice.
I think that was the only one I saw.
Man, I gotta do that for the rest of them.
Yeah, I was hoping there would be more because I like reading the lyrics.
I'll do that. Thanks for the reminder. I'm gonna get on that. Yes, that one was autobiographical as well. Basically everything, even down to the years that I mentioned, and just everything is very autobiographical.
Nice. I really like that one. And also, I wanted to ask you about 90 Seconds to Space.
Oh, that was a good one.
It's really upbeat, poppy, like first half, and then bam, it's like beat switch.
90 seconds to space and I'm free man. 90 seconds to space and I'm free man.
What'd you guys think about that ending?
I like it.
I like it. I heard you teasing the instrumental for that part on Instagram a while back. So it was cool to hear it in a totally new context, like coming at the end of this totally different song.
Hell yeah, dude. 90 seconds. So as I've been listening to the album, now that it's out, when you like listen to it on like a streaming service, on a streaming service, you're, how do I want to say it? When you first listen to your music on a streaming service and not like on an MP3 on your phone or something like that, it always just sounds different, you know? So like listening to Zenith now, it's like I'm rediscovering the album and I'm having like new favorite songs. When the album first came out, Different was like, man, I was like obsessed with it, listening to it over and over. Even though I've been hearing that song for years and I got really sick of it, I'm like in love with that song now. But now after listening to the album, 90 Seconds to Space is probably like my favorite on the whole album. It's just so freaking good, dude. Like from start to finish, the story that it tells, the beat change is so emotional, man. The way that song builds at the end, it really is.
Does that signify like reaching space?
It does. It does.
It's
So
kind of how I pictured it.
Me too.
yeah. So you picked up on the story. You know what I mean? Like the first half of the album, this spaceman character, his arc is he's he's trying to find his place in the world. He's dealing with all of these societal issues, personal issues, familial issues, everything in between, trying to find gainful employment, finding trying to discover the reason for his existence. And then, he keeps hearing about this place, Zenith, which is in outer space. It's kind of like a utopia. It's where people go. It's like the hope of humanity to go to leave this like wretched earth that we've corrupted and destroyed. So he retrofits his 2011 Honda Civic with rocket thrusters, and plans to blast off into space and pursue his zenith. And so at the end of Understand Me, it's a very like somber moment where those twinkling guitar and keys kind of come in, and he's just sitting there thinking, reflecting on everything that he's been through. Having just finished working on his Civic, ready to go out into space, and he's making the decision, am I really going to do this? And so 90 Seconds to Space starts, with a bang, with those loud ass synths and like the crazy D&B beat. And then that first part of the song is actually only 90 seconds long, because at that point is when he's, he finally breaks through the stratosphere and is like, hitting like zero gravity, and he's in space for the first time after all this planning. And then when that happens, the song goes into like less than halftime. It's just like very slow and deliberate and becomes spacey with like the synths in the background, and that's like signifying sort of like nostalgic, sentimental, being a little bit terrified. I mean, how would a person feel leaving their home for the first time ever, and going into the beyond, And so that's what that song kind of describes. And I think it's very like, it's like an orgasm, that song. Yeah. It really is like a build up and an explosion.
I wanted to ask, was other than creative reasons, was there a reason why you had to put spaces between letters on on the album and the song title?
No, it's all just like the aesthetic that I wanted.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, with streaming services, I had to put those stupid periods between words.
Uh-huh.
You wanted to have like no spaces?
I
between words?
I just wanted no periods, because if you look at the writing on the track listing, there's a period between each word, and I had to do that because since there's spaces between each letter, you have to do a double space between words.
Got it.
But when you do the double space for streaming services, they remove the double space. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not supposed to be like that. However,
Kind of like the periods, honestly. I thought it was intentional, so I was just going along.
I mean, it
with
is intentional because of what streaming services kind of, handcuffed me to, but it turned out all right.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it. But when I do the vinyl and like the physicals, and when I write it out and post about it, I write it as I wanted it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just it's a very bold project, and I think that spacing it out like that, it's all very it's very Zenith. For me, it's like so ingrained in my head that that's just how the project is. That's like its existence.
I like that you just use Zenith as an adjective right there. It's like Brat Summer or something.
Oh God,
Zenith Summer,
Disgusting.
Zenith Fall.
I think
It's
it was
very
definitely
demure, very cutesy.
Very
I think it
mindful.
was-
Very
I think it's
mindful.
a very Zenith summer. I think it's Zenith season, baby.
But metaphorically speaking, what is your zenith? Like, what place is
So-
your zenith?
So
in this earth.
in case, so let me continue with the
Yeah.
story. So he blasts off into space,
Yeah.
right? This is the second half. This is New Days Are Born. He's finally traversing, galumphing through the galaxy, leaves the galaxy, seeing quasars, going through wormholes, escaping black holes, riding on comets and asteroids and this and that, and he traverses for years and years, and he never finds this place Zenith. Obviously, in the vastness of space, like how hard is it to find one thing, even something as big as a planet? So in the darkest moments of his, which is the end of Never Let Me Down, he realizes that Zenith is not a place. It's a state of being. It's within yourself. So that's what Zenith Ascension is. And that's why he's talking about racing back home. He wants to see his brother's son when he turns 1. He wants to hold his sister's newborn child.
You bring up a lot on your sister in this album. I noticed.
Yeah, and so I guess my sister is in the album a lot. He wants to come back. He wants to take his parents to the Hajj. You know what I mean? He wants to do all these different things. And the first 2 verses of Zenith Ascension is about him racing back home. And then Jay Lincoln's part, when he's doing his solo part, that's sort of like that self-actualization that he's hitting. And then when those like gospel changes come after that and the drums come in, that's like the precipice. You know what I mean? That's him like entering Earth's atmosphere and like hitting the water and slowly swimming to shore. And then that ending, the hidden song is it's like, it's not like a happily ever after, you know what I mean? It's kind of a somber piece. It's like, you have this clarity within yourself, but you're still having to deal with the same issues that we all deal with on Earth and in life, and just the human experience. So, in that sense, I think that it brings a sense of realism to the project, and it's something that we can all relate to. I mean, when do we as people just have like blind bliss? Never. So there's even in like the moments of clarity that we have in life, there's always like an imperfection there.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
I have like a avenue of conversation I kind of want to go down, but it might be risky, or it might be too much like breaking the fourth wall or something. But I'm just curious, because I think it's a really great album. I think like you clearly put all your love into it, and you're really like skilled and talented at what you do. But like, how do you break through? Like, I feel like music like this deserves a wider audience, and like,
Dude,
there's not a lot of people like with your background doing what you do, and there's a sea of people making music these days. And like, how do you like get to that next level besides just hoping a reel goes viral or something? Is that the only answer artists have? Like, have you sought out like
trendy.
labels, or like have you tried to go down that route?
I'm glad you brought this up, because this is something, as a career marketer, like this is something I, grapple with all the time. And man, there's just so much to say about it, So
let's hear it. What are your thoughts? Like,
so I have done marketing for a while. I've done it for nonprofits, for corporations, for other musicians, artists, whatever. And I do a lot of marketing for myself, and it doesn't just come down to a reel going viral, although that helps a lot. It's all very systematic. You know what I mean? You have to have systems in place to help you grow as an artist. There are things that you can do where if you put in the steps and you add consistency and time and the effort in there, maybe a little ad spend to pour some fuel on the fire, you will see results. It's an undeniable fact that you will see results if you take the proper action. But the thing is, with me, I do have a team, but creatively, and the person like captaining the ship, it's a very solitary process. And to produce this level of work and to market it to the masses, it's nearly impossible, at least for the bandwidth that I have. So I just focused on the art almost exclusively. I did do marketing and shit like that, but yeah, I mean, it's tough, dude. Like, I think this is such a stellar album. I think it's like, one of the best pieces of music that I've heard. And essentially, I make music for myself. The whole reason I started off making music is because I wasn't hearing what I wanted to hear out there. Like I'm obsessed with post-rock, and I really love like 90s hip-hop. You know what I mean? Like the 25th anniversary of Yasin Bey's Black on Both Sides is coming up. And in the early 2000s, having first heard that album, and then like a couple of years into the 2000s, hearing like Death Cab for Cutie's Plans and Explosions in the Sky, their like second album and shit like that, I was like, dude, these are like some of the most amazing, raw, gritty sounds that I've ever heard. And there's such a truth and honesty in it that I haven't found in anything else, And so I started blending these things, and it's been like a multiple decade journey of trying to achieve that sound, and achieve it mainly for myself. And I was just telling my wife the other day, this album is so autobiographical. It's basically like a musical diary of mine. I mean, I really don't even hold back in a lot of the things that I say, which a lot of people find offensive, you know what I mean? But like, we all have thoughts, and we all have ways of expressing feelings and trying to deal with the things in life. And this album in particular is very much that, it's very much just like my diary. That's like my therapy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, it helped me cope with so many things. It helped me find my sanity paired with my, religious beliefs and like confidants in my life and the multitude of things that we do to try and remain sane and like productive members of society.
Yeah, it's very courageous of you to be very vulnerable in this album. I mean, your whole music career, period. But, I see yourself challenging yourself more and more to be more vulnerable, and I'm kind of looking forward to what you're going to do in the future with that.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, the next album's already done, and like the vulnerability on it is like, it's like peak vulnerability.
Yeah.
After this one, the vulnerability is probably going to be dialed back a little bit, but this next one is like, it's like My To Pimp a Butterfly. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's done, like mixed and mastered, or just the songs are written?
Everything's been written, recorded, produced, just like tying up some of the mixes and mastering and stuff like that, which we've been doing for a while, and I just kind of fell off because like I've been promoting Zenith. So I'm going to get back into that one. That one's called Get Bent My Love. So that's what the fourth album is.
Interesting.
Get
title.
Bent, comma, My Love.
Yeah.
It's very
very polite.
Yeah, it's
very demure.
Very demure.
It's very
cutesy.
It's like a folk, indie rock, maybe even progressive rock. You could call it definitely a lot of elements of post rock, but it's very like 2000s rock.
Yeah.
Do you have a planned release date or year? Is it like next
2025?
Year? Okay.
Yeah, 2025. The person that's actually mixing the whole project is Brian Deck.
Who's he?
From Modest Mouse and
Oh, nice.
Ugly Casanova.
Okay.
And Iron and Wine. He produced and mixed like a lot of their projects.
I thought it was the guy from Argentina you talked about last interview.
Yeah, so Louis, he mixed this whole project,
Yeah.
Zenith, which he did freaking amazing. The album would not have been the same without my boy Louis. I love you, Lou. So he did this project, but for the next one, with the sound that I want, Brian like actually worked on the albums that inspired me to even make this album, you know, when I was like in my 20s and whatever. So I got the opportunity to work with him. He liked the music. He wanted to work together. So, you know, we're making it happen. But,
Nice.
you know, going back to the other thing of what you're saying, I do think that this album deserves critical acclaim. I think that it's extremely unique. And, you know, not making that connection with the masses, like, it is very demoralizing for a long time. But at the end of the day, completing a piece of work like this and putting it out, it's like what I needed in order to like maintain my true north and like sort of grapple with like staying sane in a very insane world. So in that sense, I think it's a huge success, and like nothing can bring me down from that level of accomplishment. But, you know, I'm trying to be rich. So, you know, I would really like for this album to reach millions. Like, dude, if this album and like the different types of songs connected with like the specific audiences who like shit like that, this album would be huge. Huge, dude. Different is it's a hit song. That could be a like a top 100 Billboard song. No Pain.
What's your statistics right now? Like it was released like in August, right?
Or like July? Yeah, it was released at the end of August. Combined with some of the singles that were released beforehand, I think we're at like 300,000 streams on Spotify.
Congrats.
You know, the vast majority of those were from before we released the album, like when we were promoting the singles. Yeah. But thank you. You know, it is still really good. We're just getting started on the marketing. You know, I've had some people review it and stuff like that, and like I haven't heard anything negative about the album yet, and I'm like trying to get some negative feedback from people because, you know, I really want to, I'm hungry to get better. Yeah. You know, and it's always interesting hearing negative feedback because it's like people like hear and come and approach things from places that you totally would not hear or expect because they have their own experiences that shape them to be who they are. So, you know, I like to read into why people give me positive or negative reviews. Not too much where it's like a handicap, but I find it sociologically fascinating.
No, totally. Yeah, you're right about that. We're about the 1 hour mark. Is there
already?
Yeah.
Sheesh. Sweetie, you want to talk about anything? Or you want me to talk about anything?
I think you guys hit so much.
Okay. No, I think that's pretty much it, man. I'm just super proud of the project. I'm really happy that you guys listened to it.
Thank you so much for giving us that opportunity to do this.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me again. I wanted to like do something where we do this and then like I play the visual album for you and then we could like continue speaking or something. Obviously it wasn't done, so I wasn't able to do that, but I really do want you guys to see it very soon.
I'm so curious to see the visual album. The trailer really got me hyped for it.
Is it black
Seriously?
and white? Black and white?
All of it is black and white.
Is each song going to be like a specific scene that we saw and teased out? Like
it is. So like initially it was supposed to just be like creative B-roll is the whole visual album, but now it's definitely become more like consistent and there's like specific scenes per song. So it does have kind of a story arc.
And you guys went to shoot at Joliet Prison?
We went to Joliet Prison.
Nice.
We filmed all throughout LA.
We went to deserts
of California.
Is it abandoned, Joliet Prison? Like, is there any?
Yeah. I mean, it's the old Joliet Prison. I mean, it was abandoned. Now they have like the city or whatever, like doing tours. Yeah, they do like their haunted houses, tours and stuff. But like, we got special permission and stuff. Like I said, we've just been working our freaking dicks off on this thing forever. But yeah, I'm so psyched for you guys to see it. I'm trying to get. I want to do a screening of it at Ruth Page Center for the Arts in
DuPage
in Gold Coast.
Oh, Gold Coast.
Ruth Page Center for the Arts.
Gotcha. Okay.
Get your head out of the suburbs, dog.
I don't know.
I'm just joking.
I was gonna say.
No. Here in the city, it's like a really cool art center where they. I'm helping market a dance festival there, Harvest Dance Festival. It's the 14th year.
What kind of dance is it?
Contemporary dance.
Okay.
Yeah, contemporary dance. It's this festival that was started by Nicole Gifford. the wife of co-owner of Narwhal Studios.
Okay.
So she's had this festival going for 14 years.
Is she petite and brown hair?
She's not that petite. I think she's probably like 5, 6, 7 maybe. She's not that small,
is she
but she
super
does
skinny?
She's pretty skinny. She has dark hair.
I think I might
dark
know
short
who
hair.
she is. Does she have like her own like dance group or dance studio? And they do.
She has Harvest Chicago Contemporary Dance Festival.
I might know who she is.
She teaches as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she might know.
teaches
She
dance.
might know Berto if that's the case.
Really? You think she knows Bert?
I might. I have to ask Berto and just to confirm if it's the right.
So
person.
she's like very involved with like Hubbard and all these different dance companies and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a dance festival happening at the end of this month. You guys should come if you're available. It's gonna be really, really sick. I've been helping out with that as like marketing director for the last few years. So it's like a stage and they have a screen and like a bunch of seats. It's like a really cool intimate theater, and I think it would be awesome to do a screening for this film. So yeah, I really want to do that. Right now, my main struggle is just getting the
promote this album.
It's promotion,
get it
dude.
out, yeah.
It's promotion. Like it's really getting the word out and trying to connect with people and get people to connect with it.
Yeah.
It's so cathartic putting it out, but now I have to deal with the biggest headache, which is like getting the word out there. And like I have to go back to what you said. I have thought about approaching labels. I've had smaller labels approach me, but nothing quite made sense. Honestly, I just need money. I have all the connections to make everything happen. I just need the money. And like I've been grappling with, should I take a loan to make this happen? Because I'm at that point, like I have like some of my like most acclaimed material out. Like if there ever was a time to do it, now is the time to do it. But yeah, it's tough, man. It's really tough, so I try not to let it get me down, but it is something that I'm thinking about on a daily basis, hourly basis.
Like you said, man.
You're talking about money for like ads or something? Or
ads, publicity, build out your team, have a better marketing team, content creation, playlisting, like everything, everything that comes with it. And essentially a label will do that, but they'll want like a 100% interest rate on it. Whereas if I go to a bank, I could do it for maybe 5%, 6%, something like that. So ideally I'd like to have an investor, somebody that like believes in the vision with me. I mean, the things that I've thought of and I have planned for like live shows for this and everything, like it's just such an experience and it's an immersive experience. And that's why I went for this type of visual album, because I'm trying to bring something to the art scene on Earth that I feel like is lacking. And
you're getting there.
Yeah. And I'm really like just driving as hard as I can towards it. That's all I can say. But I'm really happy that you guys enjoyed it.
Well, again, thank you so much for coming, and this was fun.
Hell yeah. Love you guys.
Love you too. Yeah.
See you next time. See you on album, what is it?
Get Bent, My Love, album 4.
Bent,
honestly, we'll do something where we... it would be cool if we actually watched the visual album at my place, and then we could just set up on my home studio and just have a little convo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Could work.
Yeah.
We could do that sometime this fall, maybe.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. All right. Thank you.
All right.
Hell yeah.